Hello, let's do Wordle for Monday, November 3rd. The wheel yesterday again picked Xylil. So are you starting with Xylil with me? All gray. So we learned two very important things. One is there's not only not one Y, but there's also not two Ys. And also there's not only not one L, there's also not two L's. Also we know there's not an X, so good to know. All right, so common letters left, STRN. We want E or A or both. Stern. I like Stern. The bot analysis usually doesn't like Stern as much as I do, but I'm going to go with it. Having the E and the R at the same time isn't the best strategy in hard mode, but we'll take our chances today. All right. So, not too many common letters in our answer today. We do have an E, and I'm thinking ending in E. E's love to be at the end. So we could do an AE word. We don't have R or L to do a double consonant start. We have an H, so we could do like a CHA something E. Is there one left? Maybe not. I don't think chafe is spelled that way, is it? Chafe, chaff, I don't know. Let's see if we can find something better. What about a WA, like whale? There's no L. Okay, I mean, I don't have to do an A, I suppose. I could do like an I. Yeah, so like with an I could do something like chime. So let's see what goes on with chime. All right. I was right about ending in E, but this word doesn't have letters in it. I'm starting to think we might do something like, there's a few words that just have a bunch of E's in it. But let's not jump straight to that. In fact, I don't know what's left. Erie's not there. MC's not there. So maybe it's not that. We could have another E, but we have A, O, and U to use, so there's no reason to think so. Would love to use an A. What's left to be able to do here? I could do like an AU something E. Let's figure out like gauze. I feel like it's been gauze before. But it might give us some good info. I don't really like the Z if we don't think it's going to be that. I have this distinct feeling it's been gauze before. Gauge, it could be gauge today. Or it could be a QUA word, like quake. Do I want to try QU right now? I guess 4. Okay, so let's think about the options. So we have quake. Is there another one besides... so for QUA, is there another letter that can be filled? We're doing a list of the words that are left. So I think just quake. Now, what about an O here? Quote, no. So still just quake. I don't see anything for this. So if it's QU, it's just quake as far as I can tell. A little tip of the words that are actually on the answer list, as far as I know, Q is always followed by U and then always followed by another vowel. So you can just kind of logic that out. Now, what about a GUA, like guard? Like, is there another one? No, but there is gauge and there's gauze. And I have this distinct feeling we've had gauze before, but I don't remember. I think it was really recent. I don't know. I have such a hard time remembering what words we've had. Because I play other word games too. So it all gets mixed up in my head. So far I've got gauge/gauze and I've got quake. The smart thing to do is to guess, if it's just those three, is to guess gauge. Because gauge gets gauze, but quake gets none of them. Oops, AU. And I think gauze has been the answer, but if it hasn't, then it'll get me it. Now, what else could the word be? Is there just like a regular old OE word? The problem is doing a double consonant at the start is very difficult with what we've got left. Or it could be a UE word. What about an OUE? You know what? I'm not seeing any more words, so I'm going to guess gauge. It feels wrong, but I'm going to do it. Well, it wasn't gauge. Well, so there's an A, and it's not second. There's no U. I'm going to guess 5 now. I really got to be careful now. It's not quake. There's no U. So I eliminated every single word I thought of, so it's something I didn't think about. So there's still obviously the option of AE. I'm wondering about, okay. repeating the E is something we have to consider now. So I saw evade is what made me say ooh. So evade is definitely an option. We know there's an A, so it's not evoke. Oh, I missed the entire class of things that start with E. So let's think about more things that would start with E. Is there an EA something something E? Probably not with what we have left. I don't even know if there is even with any letters available. All right, so I'm thinking if it starts with E, we're doing this. Now, evade is the one I saw. I don't see anything else. Evade might be safe. Another option is starting with A. We could put another A here if we wanted to. Awake. So evade and awake. The problem is they don't really have much in common. Is there another like this? A ways, a days. I feel like a days might be a word, but I don't think I would guess that one. Okay. What about like starting with O and then AE? Like homage. Can we do adage? No, there's no G. I don't see an O. All right, I might be. So we know that there's awake, and we know that there's evade, but I might be safe just trying one and then the other. Evade is the first I thought of. I don't think there's going to be one of like a crazy different form that I have to worry about. So let's just do evade. It wasn't evade. And it's not awake. Oh, so there was one I didn't think of. The reason it's not awake is because, okay, I have to be careful. I don't want to type it out because if I hit enter, I lose. A is not in the middle. And it's not double E. So we have to start with A. We have to end with E. There's not another A. There's not another E. So we have the O. So did I miss there's a tone. I really hope there's only one thing left. A joke. My solve today. Awoke. I thought of awake, but there's also awoke. I hope that's it. On guess 6, you kind of just have to go for one. The thing that I like to do is try to think of all of the words and just try to judge which ones are probably most common. Or try to remember which ones have happened before. So there are things you can do on guess 6, but you're very limited. So I'm going to go with awoke. Okay, phew. We'll find out in the bot analysis, but I think awoke. I think awoke was it, but I also think my solve was horrible. I think I might have gotten some luck going on there. Phew, okay. But I stuck with hard mode, even starting with Xylo. So, I don't know. Maybe the people who were mad at me for turning off hard mode the other day will be a little happier with me today. All right. I feel like I played it relatively safe, even. I still didn't think of everything, but I thought of a lot. All right. So, we're going to spin the wheel to see what we're starting with tomorrow. So, let's do it. All right, climb, suggested by Scott Bathurst, a tier 2 member. So Scott has 2 words on the wheel. All right, so tomorrow, if you'd like to follow along, start with climb. All right, let's check with the bot and see how I did today. So we use this bot first, the Wordle Calcle. The answer was awoke. And I started with Xylo, which isn't going to be fully analyzed. It suggests irate, but we can't really trust this, but we'll look. I did stern. It doesn't like stern. It likes to do multiple vowels at this point. I did stern. All right, so we were down to 97 after stern, so not so lucky so far. I did chime. It suggests beige. Chime's not on the list. All right. After chime, 29 answers, and it's not seeing a way to fully solve. So we have to get lucky at this point. I did gauge. It's suggesting above, budge. Yeah, those feel a lot better than gauge. Repeating the G was probably not the greatest idea. I just thought we were down to 3 words. I was very wrong. We were down to 29 words. But I did do gauge. And now we're down to 7 words. Let's see what I thought of. Abode, I did not think of. Above, I did not think of. Adobe, I didn't think of. So there's the abode, Adobe, that you always have to worry about, which I completely forgot about. Awake and awoke. I did not think of awoke until the end. Awake I thought of. Evade I thought of. Weave I did not think of. So I think I only thought of evade and awake out of these 7. It suggests abode or above or adobe or evade. So I got very lucky because I chose evade because it was the first one I thought of. Had I chosen instead awake, actually that would have worked out very well because I would have had 4 greens. But that's luck. So I did evade, and then from evade it was only awoke. So I had no danger at all of losing after evade. But that was, I think there was luck along the way the entire time based on what the answer actually was. All right, well, let's see what its solve looks like. It's going to go irate, very vowel heavy, and then it's going to go abuse. And from abuse, the answers are anode or awoke. Have we had anode before? It feels familiar. So it could get it in 4 or 5 from Xylo start. Let's look at tails, its suggested start. It's going to go beard. All right. And then omega, and from omega, it gets the answer of awoke. All right. So after beard, there were only 8 answers. That's crazy. Steel, I think will be similar, but probably won't be the exact same follow-up. We're going to do raged. We're avoiding that. Oh, no, we're not avoiding ER. I don't know why it's doing raged. Just it's the best, I guess. 18 words left. It's going to go beach. And then we have anime and awoke. So it's going to get it in 4 or 5 from steel. We're going to check a DU. No D today, but we do have that starting A. And that starting A from a DU is extremely limited. So you're going to do well today with a DU. I suggest a gape as a follow-up if you have the A, or angle, your choice. From there, we do place the E. We're down to 9 words. It's going to go ankle and then awoke. I wonder if it's possible to lose at this point, guessing one of these, like a rose or something. It seems like you're okay. There's a lot of those AEs that are kind of non-overlapping, though. Audio is going to be similar because we get that starting A. There's 36 words left. We're going to do a long and then abort and then awoke. So 4. Okay. I just did audio, right? So trace tries to get in 2, goes for angle, which does not get it in 2, and then it's going to go abode/adobe, whichever one you prefer, and from there it gets awoke. So the reason you want that is because both of them are possible answers. They get each other. It also just kind of completely splits up all the possible 8 answers, which is crazy. All right, and then the official bot starts with place. We'd like to compare barge, and then anime, and then awoke. All right, that was an ending for a different one. Cool. Let's check the official bot, see how people did today. I don't know. It felt a little trappy, and we might have less than 99% solve rate today. 83 skill, 23 luck. It doesn't think I got all that lucky. I think I got pretty lucky. All right, let's see. Xylo it doesn't like, but that doesn't count toward the skill score. So it liked Stern. All right. Chime was not great. It hated Gauge. It really hated Gauge. I think the luck score from Gauge should have been good, but maybe not. Evade. It really liked, and that evade would have been its choice as well, along with abode and above and evade and adobe. We're all fine. That's what my bot said as well. And then awoke. All right. What would have done instead of Gauge? It would have done above. Yeah, I get it. I think that's what the other bot said too. It does place, raise, abode, awoke. So if we compare, this is place, barge, anime, awoke, very different. So it does raise instead of barge. All right. Not able to see how many people got in 1 today. Not many people start with Xylo, but it's actually more people than some of the other interesting starts. All right. And then, yeah, we got a 98.6% solve rate in hard mode so far. We only have 61,000 games in. But, yes, we have a 1.4% failure rate today. People are failing on above, awake. Oof. Yeah, I mean, if I was down to awake, I'm not sure I would have thought of awoke, and I would have just lost on awake. Agog, a gauge, whatever that is, a move, a toke, a tone, a door. All right. A doze. Some of these are weird. All right. Well, how'd you do? That is it for Wordle. I hope you enjoyed it. There is a link at the end of the video if you'd like to watch the New York Times games. I also have a pinned comment with all of the games I played today. And if you enjoyed this, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.